Four friends went exploring in the Maui jungle to see nature at its best, but two of them went further into the Waianapanapa Caves. But in the pitch-black, scary cave, a startling mystery emerged. Gregory Wilhelm vanished. The phone he dropped was all that could be seen. What took place? He would be discovered, dead or alive. The freshwater caves of Waianapanapa in Hawaii are some of the most beautiful spots in the world to swim. You would never think that they would be the scene of such a horrifying and terrible catastrophe. Sadly, not all of the tourists that enter the warm waters here and descend the cliffs each year return. The cave is located in Waianapanapa State Park, which can be found in Hana on the Hawaiian island of Maui. A little farming hamlet called Hana is located on the easternmost point of the island, distant from the majority of the more well-known tourist attractions. Yet the road to Hana is one of Maui's most well-liked tourist destinations, in large part because of its seclusion from other travelers and abundance of stunning natural beauty. The road winds and bends along the shoreline as you travel further into rural Maui, exhibiting waterfalls, old bridges, and other picturesque attractions. Those who have the time to drive to Hana can access one of Hawaii's most isolated places. Hana's official population in 2020 was just over 1,500. It's not a town with many amenities, and it's not a great place to be if you suddenly find yourself in need of assistance, but there are a few little motels and a few schools nearby. There are no hospitals or emergency rooms in Hana. There is a clinic, but the only thing they can offer in an emergency is to transport you from Hana to the hospital side of the island. Instead, the majority of the area is made up by parks, gardens, and beaches. The caverns are located in Waianapanapa State Park, which is unquestionably the most notable of these. The Hawaiian word Waianapanapa means glistening waters. The freshwater caves in the park, or the ocean waves that lap the park's perimeter, where the sand is jet black from volcanic activity, could be the subject of this statement. To get to the caverns, visitors must follow a path that leaves the black sand beach and travels both inland and along the coast. In spite of being surrounded by dense foliage, the caverns themselves have a mysterious appearance. Many daring people venture into the Waianapanapa Cave each year. A member of these visitors was Gregory Wilhelm. The victim was Gregory, a 33-year-old man from Novato, California, a little community just a few miles north of San Francisco. Gregory displayed a distinct appreciation of nature as a young child growing up in the late 1980s and early 1990s. He participated in both the Boy Scout ROTC and the Campfire Youth Summer Program. Upon his graduation from San Marin High School, Gregory maintained his fervent interest in the great outdoors. He made and maintained the majority of his friendships as a result of his love of hiking, camping, and road trips. But why did Gregory seem to be drawn to the Waianapanapa Caves in particular? Gregory seemed to be a very creative person, which was a unique quality about him. He had a keen interest in green technologies, particularly solar energy and electric vehicles, and he was also looking for a way to reduce the negative effects of rubbish on the environment. In order to recycle and remove environmentally friendly rubbish, Gregory started a company called Green Hauling in 2006. The San Francisco Bay Area is still serviced by this firm today. So it is evident that Gregory enjoyed the outdoors and was also a young, energetic, and risk-taking individual. He built and ran his eco-friendly companies while also exploring the untamed woods with his pals during his free time. On January 29, 2017, the island of Maui had a fantastic Sunday afternoon. Gregory Wilhelm was at Hana with 3 of his friends from Maui, since he likes to go on outdoor adventures. After arriving to Waianapanapa State Park, the party went swimming for a while. In quest of the caves, the crew soon made their way into the jungle. Nobody was aware of its intentionality. There is at least some evidence to suggest that the group did not make prior plans to explore the caves, even if it is possible that they did. Then Gregory reached for his phone. I put the flashlight in a Ziploc bag after turning it on. A good torch and not a phone would have been carried along if the exploration of the cave had been planned. This seems like a pretty last-minute answer, similar to the startling thought that they might have entered these caves without fully understanding their intended destination. 2 men and 2 women comprised the party of 4, and they all jumped into the swimming hole at the cave's entrance. They entered the icy water and, like other tourists, took in the scenery, always keeping their eyes on the light from the cave's entrance. But Gregory and his other male buddy soon had the courage to make an attempt to swim farther into the cave. The 2 women made the choice to wait at the door till they returned. Gregory and his friend then started heading into the darkness with their usual goal to explore the amazing natural beauty in front of them. Gregory had earlier put his phone in a plastic bag. What surprises await them throughout their journey? Nobody is aware. We are aware of these facts, nevertheless. The first aspect is the significant variation in water level within the Waianapanapa Caves. This can come as a surprise, since one would assume that a freshwater pool would remain constant and would not rise or fall. But depending on when you arrive, the cave's roof may be well above your head, or it may be so shallow that you must duck beneath. The second aspect is that, unless you reach the caves early in the day, you'll notice that, due to the cavern's geographic location and positioning, the sunlight disappears almost immediately after you start moving away from the cave's mouth. The earliest Gregory and his pals could have been in the caves was extremely late in the morning, but it's more likely that they were entering them in the early afternoon given what we know about everything that happened following. When you swim into the shadows, it's possible that there are yet more caverns and paths to discover. It's so simple to become lost in this terrible shadow. According to the few people who have undertaken this horrific excursion and returned to describe it, the entrance to one of the deeper rooms is so small that only one person can fit through it at a time. Some assert that you can continue on even beyond. Hence, even though we are unsure of the exact distance Gregory and his friend were able to cover before anything dreadful occurred, we do know that they split up somewhere in the shadows of these famous caverns. This is strange because it ought to have been extremely peaceful despite the water level. There isn't any current either. Gregory apparently had the light and couldn't have seen anything on his own, so it wouldn't have made much sense for him to become lost. The 2 women who were waiting at the cave's entrance were not prepared for Gregory's exit. The only one to emerge from the shadows was Gregory's pal. He accomplished this without using a spotlight, which is absolutely unbelievable. It was really horrible news for the women. Despite the fact that Gregory's friend had miraculously emerged from the cave unharmed and alone, he still had to make a terrifying and incredibly daring choice. He would have known that they were so far into the desolate jungle of Hana that Gregory's life might be in jeopardy and that no one else would be able to save him. He spun around and dove back into the dangerous night on his own. He yelled for Gregory as loudly as he could. Yet all he got in return was the strange silence of the cave. At this point, Gregory's 3 pals would have been understandably worried. But what happened next appears to have been the catalyst for their collective anxiety. Gregory's friend was scrambling into the pitch-black depths of the cave when he started to notice the faintest glimmer of light coming from a distance. As he swam hastily in its direction, the light became more intense. He soon found the light, which was actually the flashlight on Gregory's phone. As he swam toward the light, Gregory's buddy called his name, and he did so until he reached it. Gregory wasn't there when he took up the phone. This grave finding foretold Gregory's impending demise. He didn't want to spend any more time, so his companion turned around and swam back, using Gregory's phone to illuminate the path. The women were startled when he informed them of the discovery when he returned. They feared that an unforeseen event had occurred. The group made an emergency call to the Hana Fire Department, which immediately contacted a rescue team. From Kahului in central Maui, the rescue team had to travel more than 18 miles, or 30 kilometers, by helicopter. Yet the Hana Fire Unit arrived on the scene 10 minutes after the call was placed. Yet, like Gregory's wretched friends, they had to wait until the rescue crew showed up. But when the rescue crew arrived, they entered the cave. Their brighter lights allowed them to see farther into the cave, and more critically, deeper into the water. Both down below the water and out in the distance were clearly visible to them. They abruptly became aware of a human body in the depths. Could that have been someone's body? Sadly, it was the dead body of Gregory Wilhelm. Gregory was discovered to be about 75 feet, 23 meters, away from the cave's entrance. It was a devastating sight when it was found shortly after 1 p.m. But due to Hannah's distant location and the technological difficulties of the rescue, Gregory's lifeless corpse wasn't found until after 5 p.m. That horrible incident cruelly ended the life of an ambitious man and left a gaping hole in the hearts of those who loved him. More importantly, it was shrouded in mystery. The most obvious cause of death in this case is drowning, although it is unclear why Gregory Wilhelm drowned. He was a skilled swimmer, youthful, and in good health. The scenario was rather perplexing. In addition to dropping his phone, Gregory abruptly lost contact with his pal, struggled to stay afloat, and lost track of where the entry was. In a deserted cave, what may have happened to result in this? Sadly, no one is aware of the solution. An ambitious man's life was cruelly cut short by that terrible occurrence, and those who cared about him were left with a gaping hole in their hearts. What was more, it was steeped in mystery, although it is unknown why Gregory Wilhelm drowned. Drowning is the most obvious cause of death in this case. He was young, in good health, and a skilled swimmer. The situation was a bit confusing. In addition to dropping his phone, Gregory also lost track of the location of the entry and lost touch with his friend. What might have happened in a deserted cave to cause this? Unfortunately, no one knows the answer. We appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you liked what you saw, please click the like and subscribe buttons and the bell icon to be notified when we post another thrilling cave diving story.